just want to make sure so we don't like cross over each other.
Yeah, sure.
Everything is vibrating.
There we go.
Just let us know. Give us a countdown.
Sure. I did not put the chat on the screen, just so you know.
Well, when you
it is on the other one.
Oh, on this one it's not?
It's not on this screen.
That's fine. Doesn't need to be.
No.
You ready, Eric?
Mm-hmm.
Roll with me on this one. I'm going to put you on the spot with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Northwest.
Gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Dose of Nerd Acumen proudly brings to you
The best stream in the world! Eric the Dead!
Gravity Well.
You tried.
That's all we got. Welcome everyone to our debut episode, the pilot, if you will, of the
3-second tan.
We're going to talk wrestling tonight.
Those of you who were here to watch the weekly dosage, this is kind of like it's like a test for us. We've been trying. Me and Gravity Will have been trying to get an actual wrestling podcast going for a couple years, for about 2 years, and
a couple.
Yeah, it is a couple. But we did one episode. It was after WrestleMania, like 3 years ago, 2 years ago.
No, it was leading up to. It was when Triple H had the belt when he.
Oh, and that was
It was heading into Roadblock. I think it was right after that Roadblock period.
Yeah.
But you can find us on, what site did we ultimately?
I don't even remember.
We put it up. Where's that podcast site?
We'll find it and link it somewhere. But
it's not great.
point is, we tried something. I mean, it was okay.
It was good for what it was. It's just audio, no video.
Yeah. But we've been really itching to talk about wrestling. We love talking to each other about it. I mean, talking with your friends in a room is okay. But you know, we want to involve our DNA audience. We want everybody who enjoys wrestling to join us, to ask questions, to be involved. And hopefully we can do that with this episode. So
if you chat, it'll appear down at the bottom of the screen. Or
it'll be below me over here.
Below him. Over there.
Yep.
I climbed his house. There it goes. Chat goes here. See, we got it. So I love it.
So we got a bunch of stuff we want to talk about. So if you want to hop in the chat, if you have any questions, we'll take them as we go. If we're in the middle of a discussion about something, we might not grab it right away. But once we're finished with that, we might hop over. Maybe your question is something that we're going to touch on after, or maybe another thing we were planning on touching on. If not, great. If it is, great. So ask us some stuff. You got anything you want to start out with?
Just give you some expectations. It's not going to be just primarily WWE every single week. We will obviously talk about that. That'll more than likely be the main focus, as that's generally what we watch most. But we will be talking about Ring of Honor, TNA, New Japan, as well as Lucha. So if you're a fan of those things, we will touch on them.
NXT as well,
NXT,
even though it's
part of
WWE. But
so we will talk about those things. Probably not this episode, because this is a very busy weekend coming. If you didn't already know, WrestleMania weekend is here. Finally, the biggest weekend of the year for wrestling fans.
My favorite weekend of the year.
So those are some of your expectations. But without further ado, let's get into some of our topics of the evening, because we have a lot to cover. The first topic tonight is obviously what's happening as we speak, so please don't switch over, stay with us, or watch both at the same time. The Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
We're going to be more entertaining than people giving acceptance speeches, though, I promise you that.
I don't know, man. You got Road Dogg in there.
Yeah, but...
You got Paul Heyman. We can't get any more entertaining than Paul Heyman.
That's true.
Just saying.
I mean, Mr. T.
That was a rough. That was sandpaper.
That was bad.
So what do you got on your bullet list? What do you want to start with?
So
the Hall of Fame?
Cool. So
Yep.
the Hall of Fame, we're going to talk a little bit about the inductees.
We lost our. Oh, there it goes.
So we'll talk about the inductees and our thoughts on those people, whether they're deserving. Obviously, they're an inductee; they deserve to be there. But our personal feelings on whether they've had an impact on our viewing experience over the years. I'm going to brush over this because a lot of people may not know these. The Legacy Awards are going to Stan Stasiak, which is actually the father, I believe, or grandfather, I can't recall now, of Sean Stasiak. He was a WCW talent who had a short, brief run right at the beginning when they bought out WCW in WWF/WWE at that time. Here you go. So the Legacy Awards.
Wait, really? Well, that's not good.
What's not good? That's 2016.
Super big.
Also,
So-
yes.
So that's not
It's
accurate.
on screen. That's all that matters.
That's not accurate at all.
Oh, before we go on,
Yeah.
I would like to mention that it's not just us tonight. We do have Locksteady over here, man on the screen. He's going to be our producer, our director tonight. He's going to be putting all the graphics.
Seducer.
Ooh. He's putting up all the graphics that you see. He'll be behind the scenes doing that stuff. So
He's behind my scenes.
didn't want to keep him out.
Well, we got our first issue of the night here. The chat is not updating on the stream for some reason.
Do we have people chatting?
Yeah.
Hooray! Way to go, chat.
We'll refresh the chat.
Rich Franklin says Mr. T loves his mama.
Mr.
does.
T does love his mama.
Mr. T.
God. Go back and watch that if you get a chance on the WWE Network right now for only... No, Eric? $9.99? Jeez, wow. Missed two there. Anyways, some of the other people in the Legacy.
$9.99.
Lord Alfred Hayes, Dara Singh, Cora Combs, El Santo, Jim Londos, Rufus R. Jones,
I don't know any
Sputnik
of these.
Monroe, and Boris Malenko.
Dizzle says $9.99.
$9.99.
Yeah.
So again, those are some of the legacy ones. You may, depending on your age of you viewing this, I'm not trying to insult, you may know them better than we do. Unfortunately, the only ones that I knew was Stan Stasiak and Lord Alfred Hayes, and that's just by collecting tapes growing up, and he didn't know any. But let's move on to the first inductee. This is not in order of how they'll be inducted tonight. This is
As it just started, and we're not watching
Yeah,
it.
so we don't know. This is just kind of a list I put together to highlight some of the people, all the people really.
$9.99.
For $9.99. So we'll start out here with Mark Henry, who's being inducted by the Big Show.
We can look at each other. You don't have to keep looking back.
Okay, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, this is a
So-
conversation. We're trying to make it conversational between us. You're watching us do our thing. You chime in, do shit. We'll do the shit. Everybody be doing the shit.
So before we talk about our feelings on
Careful
Mark
how you
Henry,
ask them to chime in, because Raven Knight already said subscribe now and get WrestleMania free.
jeez, I mean, that's true. So Mark Henry, he's most known for his one-time World Heavyweight Championship run and one-time ECW Championship run. as
And
well
being
as
world's strongest man.
That's true. And a one-time WWF European Championship when that existed.
Yeah.
So Mark Henry, you can see him down below me, down there. Let's talk about some memories. So,
Mark Henry's
you
been
got a great one here.
Yeah, Nation of Domination, for sure. Mark Henry's always been, I've always enjoyed Mark Henry, but I never really followed. He's just one of those wrestlers who's like, cool, Mark Henry.
He's been a constant, right?
Yeah.
So
It's
he's
kind of
been-
like the same as the Big Show for me.
He's
Just
been
there.
reliable as a big guy that you can count on to do some just big guy matches. Not to say that's a good or bad thing. He's just somebody who's been a constant and a reliable wrestler. You always thought he would be there, and you always knew he would be there. Not to say that he's dying here. He's just retiring. He's been great, and I think he's had a lot of good rivalries over the year, and he's, I guess, enhanced a lot of talent and elevated a lot of other people's careers.
He's put a lot of people over, too.
Nation of Domination is a really great example of a power movement of a faction in the 90s when that was something that was still trying to find its footing. During this time, you were seeing the growing pains of DX and its early runs. That didn't fully come into fruition. But this faction also paved the way for one specific star that we all know today, being
Farouk.
well, damn, no, The Rock.
Who?
Jeez Louise. So, for me, the Mark Henry match that I remember the most was actually, I was fortunate enough to go to WrestleMania 22 in 2006 in Chicago.
Good show.
It was a really good show.
D'Lo Brown.
D'Lo Brown. I mean, yeah.
That's right, Dizzle.
You're dealing with the real deal now.
I loved his intro.
So back in 2006, he had a casket match at the very last Arena WrestleMania. And that was against none other than the Dead Man, Undertaker. Obviously, they had an oversized casket, so you already knew into that match who was going to win.
Well, I think some people thought they were just being prepared.
Well, yeah.
I mean, growing up, that's how I took it.
But it was, I mean, hindsight's 2020. It's the Undertaker, so.
Well, back then he won.
Well, I mean,
I think that's
he only stopped winning a couple years ago.
Well, yeah.
We'll get to that.
I'm saying back then he was winning. He was the other constant. Their match was good. But that, for me, that's the most memorable thing besides the NOD. So
my most memorable moment from Mark Henry is not one of his matches, but when he pulled that Mack truck. Just pulled the Mack truck. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
I almost had that picture ready too.
Did you? So I think the Big Show inducting him is fantastic. You know, they're obviously big.
Yeah,
big
and also very, very close friends too, because they ran so well. Like they came up around the same time.
Right. I mean, they had the oversized casket versus Yoko and Take Loss. That's true.
Yeah, that is true. So, suck it.
But I mean, but it wasn't WrestleMania, okay? That meant something back then.
Still,
it's different now.
Still, they were being prepared for casket. So who we got as the? Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, Big Show coming up at the same time of Mark Henry that's why I like him inducting him. That Big Show was just coming in from WCW. Mark Henry was the big guy. It was just came around the same time. It was really cool.
The Giants.
Yeah.
He just re-signed a contract too.
He did.
So he's sticking around for a little while.
Anyway.
We got thoughts. Obviously, you're all chomping at the bit to hear our WrestleMania chatter because we have a lot to say.
Oh, we have so much to say.
So we'll move on to the next. This is part of the Celebrity Wing inductees.
We lost Facebook chat again for some reason. Rich Franklin says sexual chocolate ?
Sexual chocolate. Okay. Yes, the hand. Mae Young. The hand.
Dizzle says, side note, can we have Big Show retire too for a 2-for-1 special?
Oh, come on. Big Show's great. So, yeah, there obviously were other classic moments in Mark Henry. The hand. That's something that will be definitely in the video package.
when Mae Young gave birth to the hand?
So Sexual Chocolate is a fantastic revitalization of his character. Again, we could spend a lot of time, just as much as them on their acceptance speeches, talking about each and every one of them. As much as I'd love to.
Time constraints. We got bigger things to talk about. We're just getting through who we got.
Kid Rock, Celebrity Wing inductee. I don't even want him on my screen right now. I am so disappointed by this.
So who?
I don't approve this.
First of all, that. Second of all, who do you think is going to induct him? I know it's on tonight, and there's probably spoilers. We haven't watched any of it yet.
Josie.
Cancel.
So
delete.
The next Hall of Fame. Anyway, Kid Rock has done a lot for WWE as far as like pay-per-view music. Do we got a graphic for that of all the stuff he's done? Oh, so I'm assuming these are.
Yeah, Raven Knight. We're gonna get to that. We have a lot to say about that. So that's spoiler alert. I agree with you.
Okay, we'll get to that.
We're gonna get to that.
So yeah, he's done music for a bunch of different pay-per-views. He's done. Is that like entrance music
those
that he's
or
entrance themes to those? Not entrance themes, but themes of the pay-per-views.
Yeah, various themes he's either performed live at or had pay-per-view songs for.
Okay.
As well as Monday Night Raw.
Is that also performed at and or?
It's and or. This is and or.
Yeah, so he's done some performances at some places. I'm assuming one of them is Mania. I shut everything Kid Rock does out of my mind.
So he performed Monday Night Raw back in 2000. He performed at WrestleMania 25 in 2009 and Tribute to the Troops.
Tribute to the
Troops in 2012. He also provided entrance music for Stacy Keibler with her Legs song. It was on one of their music CDs. We can just leave it here.
Hold on. No, I'm just kidding.
Can I just reach down and... Oh, it was reach back.
Don't. What the fuck is that suit thing? Oh, it's not a suit. That's just jeans. I thought that was like a jean suit. Like, could you imagine wearing... I feel like Kid Rock would wear a suit. Like, it's a jean suit with a jean tie. Thank you.
We're back. Show's back on track here.
But Kid Rock, cool, man. Whatever.
Good for him. Sure, you know, for the company, he's done a lot.
I think it's personal bias that we're not a fan of Kid Rock.
It's definitely personal. The best thing he did was provided the American Badass theme for The Undertaker. So, here we have it. And to switch back to Raven Knight, we'll talk about this for a minute because it's not actually a match yet. There are a lot of
I do have something I want to say about it, too.
There's a lot of speculation that the Dead Man Walking comment this week by John Cena, a lot of the not showing up as The Undertaker, the retiring of the hat last year at WrestleMania, coincidentally or conveniently enough, Kid Rock being inducted, him doing the music, maybe Undertaker coming back as just that, the American Badass for one.
Did you see what Raven Knight put? Couldn't get the pick from the other side of Stacy.
Not on this stream. That's for after hours.
That is 3 Second Tad After Hours.
That should be a show.
I should. Canadian Tuxedo. Thanks,
So-
Andrea. Oh, she's in bed.
Facebook is on now.
Yay! Did you do anything?
Oh no, that's Twitch.
Okay.
Sorry.
So that is my thought. I think he will answer John Cena's call finally, or during the performance of Kid Rock if he's doing a live one here. Undertaker will surprise us and come out on a motorcycle, and John Cena will be standing in the crowd, and he'll ask him to come fight.
What I was thinking when the American Badass thing was kind of rumored and talked about, my thought was maybe it'll be an unsanctioned match.
Just a brawl?
Yeah, because the him taking off his robe and hat symbolizes the death of Undertaker.
Right, he's done. That's why he comes back as the American Badass. And
But-
he was the brawler back then.
Yeah, when he's the American Badass, he's the brawler. It could be an unsanctioned match. It could be just them just pounding the shit out of each other. Not a match, but them both getting their WrestleMania moments.
Rob's getting giggity off the pounding. He liked the comments. So, honestly, that also plays in the favor of what both of those can do in the ring at their age. Undertaker has been dipping every year with his matches.
But that's a normal Mania match. Like, that's just a normal wrestling match. I feel like...
Bear with me. Keep going.
Oh. Mm-hmm. I feel like that if they were to do an unsanctioned match, fight, outside the ring, even in the ring, I mean, there's so much more you can do without the fear of being disqualified. And you can actually put on a much more memorable show for the audience. Because when he was in the ring, he was missing steps. Like, he was just very much like, you could see him slowing down. But outside of the ring, you can see, like, more vicious, more ferocious. It could be like he got a new hip, didn't he? I don't know, maybe.
Thanks for the new subscriber, Rick.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Rick.
it. We just got an alert.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still
Awesome.
see.
Good, I fixed it.
So...
Like, see it all? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
So since that's, I don't know. I guess we'll wait and see. I truly think Undertaker will make an appearance.
So there is another thing I actually want to talk about, in the same kind of realm as them. I was kind of writing down notes this past week. I'm gonna kind of read what I wrote because it was just a thought off my head. To me, it seems like Cena was carrying the feud with Taker. With some of the statements that he made on Raw, being a coward, it actually kind of made me, for a second, believe that the Taker was the heel in this scenario. Kind of like not coming out for the audience. Not a heel, but like a disappointing face. Like not heeding the...
I could see it. I mean, I get what you're saying. Letting the fans down from missing these appearances.
Yeah. But I also feel like, in that case, WWE Creative wouldn't have invested so much into the story without wanting it to pay off in some way at Mania.
We get a heel turn from Cena? Finally?
No? Are you kidding me? They're never going to give Cena a heel turn.
Come on, WWE.
Yeah, I know.
At this point, it's not going to hurt.
Anyway, we can talk way more about that. We need to get back to these inductees so we can get actually to the show and its matches.
Hillbilly Jim.
You got this one, buddy.
We got a graphic for that. being inducted by the Mouth of the South, of course.
I'm getting there.
Jimmy Hart. If you don't know who that is, he created a lot of the entrance themes back in the day.
There you go.
So obviously on the left there, Jimmy Hart. On the right, Hillbilly Jim. 30 years plus with WWE as a wrestler, manager, and ambassador now for the company. He's done a lot of great things. You'll want to see his video package that they put together, as it'll probably be much better as what we can say.
Yeah.
And the next one is a very good award. I think that they've done a fantastic job every year, and every time these video packages come on, it crushes me inside a little bit, and I cry.
Talk about the Warrior Award.
The Warrior Award.
Yep.
This year's is for, I don't know how to say the name correctly, Jarius J.J. Robertson.
Jarius.
Yeah. So
I think.
I
guess I don't know how to say
he is
it.
a double liver transplant survivor, and
He just looks like a badass. Like he'll just fuck your day up.
so anything like this where they recognize kids with disabilities or ailments or overcoming anything such as horrible as cancer or are you farting during this really
I didn't mean.
Wow.
I couldn't hold it in. I'm sorry.
Being real for a second.
I'm sorry. Go on.
But I think this is fantastic, and it's unfortunate that this rooted from bad things, but it's very deserving that these, kids and people get recognized for the things that they do.
The Connor one is what got me.
Yeah.
Connor's scare.
Yeah. And obviously the Ultimate Warrior, that was awful. I remember him obviously coming back the next day on Raw for his final appearance, giving that amazing speech that'll, I'll remember forever.
Yeah.
And then passing away that night. Awful. Wrestling is for nerds, apparently. Yeah, the nerds of Acumen. So we have our next one here, which my personal highlight of the night, Jeff Jarrett, Double J.
JJ.
So, of course, being inducted here by none other than
The Road Dogg.
his manager back then, the Road Dogg, which is how he got that gimmick originally. Fantastic time to be a heel for him because he was amazing at it. His antics coming out with a guitar, performing songs, and just being an easily hateable heel was amazing. I enjoyed it. Some of his accolades here is 4-time WCW champion. Obviously, of course, he is one of them, has jumped back and forth between companies back in the 90s. He also basically started and founded TNA Wrestling, owned it a few times, Global Force Wrestling, as well as other organizations. So he has done a lot for wrestling. He is very deserving of it. Credited by WWE for promoting shows and gave future WWE stars like AJ Styles, Bobby Roode, and Eric Young their first major exposure. So again, very deserving of being inducted here. So obviously you can see him here with the WCW Championship title. There's a lot to talk about his character. He deserves an episode entirely dedicated to him, in my opinion.
Outfit.
It was fantastic. Jay's lit up too. It was amazing. The lights would go out. If you have the network, go back and watch some mid-90s
$9.99.
stuff. Specifically WCW. A lot of his stuff was great when he was on Nitro.
Yeah.
So that's my thought. What are your feelings on Jeff Jarrett? Do you know a lot about him?
I don't know a lot about him. Like I kind of came into the game with Jeff Jarrett a little late.
Okay.
But what I do remember of him is when he would come out with like the
Deborah?
Guitar. Yeah, with Deborah and the guitar.
Owen Hart. Rest in peace, bro. Honestly, that tag team with Deborah and stuff, they had great heel heat. They're a fantastic tag team, and they're a tag team that should go down in the Hall of Fame as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Jeff Jarrett. He was super charismatic, easy to hate, but even though you hated him, still loved him because his character was just so good. And I do think Road Dogg inducting him is one of the better choices.
Oh, fantastic.
Probably
choice.
one of the only choices I guess you could probably do.
I saw while I was researching stuff to get prepared for tonight, somebody commented on the fact that he was getting inducted by Road Dogg and said, "I can't be the only one that hopes they'll duet with my baby tonight, can
I?" His single, of course. Raven Knight, I seen him live versus Diesel for the title on a house show. That's sweet. Diesel was awesome. Surprised they're inducting him the way stuff ended. Again, look up his Wikipedia. There's a lot more information on him because things weren't great. One of his final matches was with a rivalry with China and Chris Jericho, as Chris Jericho had jumped ship from WCW. They did a lot of good housekeeping matches, which is very disparaging for women because they featured vacuum cleaners and irons and iron boards.
Women got it rough back then.
Women had it very rough back then. I still think they have it rough. I think we're finally making movements here.
Making strides.
But yeah, that was that triple threat rivalry was good matches because all three of them, China and Jericho and Jarrett, were fantastic talent. Still are. Well, two of them.
Rest in peace.
Sorry, we're fucking up.
Well, you can't hide over. It's been years. China, rest her soul. She's had a great career.
Induct her already.
For fuck's sake, for real.
Yeah, for real.
Other people did porn too.
Yeah, like Mickey James.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Didn't know that one. You learned something new.
Yeah. Paige did, and she's still there.
You know who didn't know, from my knowledge? Our next inductee, Ivory, who is being inducted by...
I thought you were going to go with the guy.
No. Of course, here, Molly Holly. 3-time WWF Women's Champion and 1-time Glow, which is the gorgeous ladies of wrestling.
Yep.
Which we have no images of those. You can thank the producer seducer.
Is that his? Is that his wrestling? No,
Yes.
You. Again, Ivory, a great career. Great bra and panty matches. I don't know. She got shafted. Like the women then got shafted, as we said.
She was badass though.
She was when she was part of the censorship.
Right to censor.
Right to censor. Mm-hmm. That was amazing.
Her involvement with the what was the reality show before it was NXT?
Tough Enough?
Tough Enough, thank you. Mm-hmm. Her involvement with that too as a coach, like she really knew her stuff, and she traveled like one of the boys, and she lived that lifestyle.
What is this, and why are you sending it to me?
I was
what
gonna ask you.
Oh,
are those the people in that? Are those the correct people for that NXT match?
So Dizzle, yes, right to censor.
I think so, yes.
So again, she's very deserving being inducted here. The thing that makes me feel old now is all these people I grew up watching are being inducted in the Hall of Fame. It's amazing that I've been watching wrestling for over 25 years, and I've seen entire careers of superstars come and go. It's exciting to know all this stuff, but it's almost sad because it's like, where's time going? Which brings us to our next inductees, the Dudley Boys, being inducted by possibly the greatest tag team that ever existed.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly.
opinion.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. Yeah.
Which he's my personal favorite.
Hey,
is Edge.
5 seconds.
Oh,
Right.
Oh, 5-second post. And I eat an M&M.
You mean a coated candy?
Coated. So the Dudley Boys, if you didn't know it, but they are 8-time WWF/World Tag Team Champions, 1-time WWE Tag Team Champion, 8-time ECW Tag Team Champions, and 1-time WCW Tag Team Champions. You could say they've held the belts a lot. They've had an amazing run in multiple factions, including TNA, WCW, WWF, WWE. I think that's it. They may have appeared other places, but those are primarily it. They may have appeared in special events on Ring of Honor, but those have been the main highlights to me as far as the places they've appeared. Obviously, their biggest highlights in my memories are the TLC matches, which included Edge and Christian and the Hardy Boys. Those are some of the greatest WrestleMania moments to me. Your thoughts on the history of the Dudley Boys?
I will always love the Dudley Boys. I kind of was a little upset when they brought them back. I mean, I loved seeing them, but I feel like it's another one of those, let's bring them back because they were such a big hit back then. Kind of like the Hardys. As much as I love the Hardys, I feel like they shouldn't have came back as the Hardys.
How else would you book them now?
Just still like wait until you got the rights for Broken Matt Hardy, and then brought him back as that. You know what I mean?
You know.
That was such an amazing pop when they were announced as the 4th team, though.
Oh,
I
no,
was
I know.
so mad though. Honestly, when they came back last year at WrestleMania, for one, they dropped the ball because they had inducted. Oh my God, what's his name? The guy that always holla holla holla.
Holla, 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 holla.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Teddy Long.
Teddy Long. Thank you.
Oh,
Holy
yeah.
crap. Out of mind. So they inducted him that year. He was there, but they had the New Day introduce the special tag team.
A new day.
Instead of bringing out classic Teddy Long and saying, "Now hold up, player, we're gonna make this a blah 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 match," like he used to do
Yeah.
on SmackDown every single freaking week. Everything was a tag team match. Everything was now this. Everything. They didn't do it.
Yeah.
That should have been how they did that. So for one, I was mad about that.
It would have
Two-
been even better, yeah, if the New Day had come out and said, "Hey, Teddy Long," or the other way around.
Right,
Teddy
they
Long
should
come
have
out and
had
then the New
him.
Day come out and
Right. They dropped the ball there. Two, they gave him the belts when that should have been Enzo and Big Cass's time to shine.
Yeah.
They had done work, and they were the worthy team to hold the belts at that time. Now, unfortunately, we would
You know
never
what?
see that
You know what makes
because
that-
of things that happen.
You know what makes it sad about their return? Bouncing off what you had. I don't even remember the other two teams in the match because they came back.
Yeah, it overshadowed everything.
Sheamus and Cesaro and
So
Yeah,
the bar.
the Bar and the other two Bullet Club guys.
Oh.
Whose names I can't remember.
We don't talk about Enzo. Yeah, Enzo's an unfortunate
Which hurts
situation.
my feelings. I was so ready to like that dude.
Oh, I loved that dude.
But like,
You let me down, man. You let me down.
yeah,
Get
no,
your
you let
life
us-
together,
You let
bro.
us all down. But to kind of finish my thought on the Dudleys, one of my favorite all-time matches were those TLC matches with them, Edge and Christian, and the Hardys.
Yeah,
It doesn't get any higher than that. Gallows and Anderson, thanks Dizzle.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any higher for that or than that for them. So
No, those were amazing.
having them come back and having the Hardys come back, you'll just never get to that height again.
Well, those guys can't climb that high. So they can't get to that. You get it?
Let's move on. I think you just railroaded us.
Woo! Okay. So our final inductee of the night for the Hall of Fame is going to be none other than
$9.99.
Goldberg, which it should have been Gilbert.
It should have.
No, but for real, we have Goldberg being inducted by Paul Heyman, which is a worthy spokesman for his induction because the speech that he will provide is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch that.
Goldberg, obviously very deserving. He made a lot of momentum for WCW when it was hurting. He put Nitro on the map,
Yeah.
even more so than it was at that time.
Omega says TLC 2 is the best. That I agree of.
Mm-hmm.
But I like both of them. But TLC 2 was, and the chat's gone, was my favorite.
All of it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just disappeared.
Sorry, I was just reading chat. Back to your Paul Heyman spiel.
So, yes, Goldberg is very deserving. He had a fantastic run in WCW. Had a one-year stint in WWE, ending his one-year run, feuding with people like Triple H, The Rock, and then eventually walking away at WrestleMania 20, which we're going to circle back to tonight, I promise you, because there's a lot of related stuff with that. He ended his run with a horrible match against Brock Lesnar with special referee Stone Cold Steve Austin. On paper, that should have been phenomenal, right?
Right.
But Brock Lesnar was leaving for Vikings tryouts. Goldberg was leaving because he had money and he already completed his one-year contract. And Stone Cold is just a referee, so he doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So nobody gave a shit about this match because they were both leaving. They were booed off the mat. And throughout the match, they were constantly, if you remember, they're flipping off the crowd.
Yeah.
It was garbage.
Yeah.
Garbage.
You know what I think
So-
about that?
Another fart. So we're going to circle back around to because that's a very important thing that I highlighted there. That
Tony
match,
Schiavone should have gotten a one-day contract just to induct Goldberg.
right? Tony Schiavone would have been great. So with that being said, I still think obviously Goldberg's recent run, his little dedication to his son, who had never seen him wrestle because his son was young.
I mean, I get that.
Him winning the belt from Kevin Owens, then getting decimated by Brock after decimating Brock, like
It was just so lopsided and very...
it was weird, and he is way past his prime, and I get it. You know, you want to do it for the kids, but
for the kids.
I'm sorry, man. Like, Goldberg, you deserve this, but you shouldn't have come back. And honestly, I don't really care about the Universal title. We'll get to that in a minute. But, fuck. Anyways, one-time WCW World Heavyweight Champion, one-time World Heavyweight Champion, one-time WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion, having a record of 173-0, undefeated streak in WCW. Those are his accolades. Pretty impressive resume, if you ask me.
Yep. So is that all? That's all that we have for the Hoff?
That's the Hoff. So check it out. It's happening right now. You can watch it later if you want to stick with us. We're going to head over to our second of 3 topics for tonight. The second topic will be NXT TakeOver New Orleans.
New Orleans. Do you have the match list up there?
I do have a match list up. You want me to
let's
throw one at you and see what you think about it?
Wait, Dizzle, what ugly belt? I totally forgot the color of it.
The red belt that's never seen on TV.
I totally forgot the color of it.
We're going to talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to.
Oh, it's true.
Oh, it's damn true. So enough of that weirdness, fucking wrestling nerds.
Big red belt, brother.
You guys are weird. Talking about wrestling.
Fuck them. We're not weird. We're awesome.
So we have on the card for NXT tomorrow night, Adam Cole, baby.
Adam Cole
versus
baby.
EC3 versus Killian Dane versus Lars Sullivan versus Ricochet versus Velveteen Dream in a ladder match for the inaugural NXT North American Championship.
Okay. So can we just not talk about the North American Championship? Because that'll take us forever.
Aren't all of them North American except for the UK title?
Yeah. So dumb. What I do want to talk about is how I don't know. Okay, so we're going to confess that we haven't been able to keep up with NXT as of late because of our streams, the dosages and work. It's just been kind of a weird. I've been trying to catch up a little bit. I did actually catch the live. Velveteen. That's what I was going to get to. Omega. I did watch the match with him and Aleister Black at, I think it was World War III, or not. War Games. Match was phenomenal. Velveteen Dream is amazing. Can you state off who's in the match again? Oh, EC3.
Killian Dane, Lars Sullivan, Ricochet, Velveteen Dream.
Sorry, I was reading chat. Actually, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to Google it. Can't type.
It is Adam Cole, EC3, Killian Dane,
yeah.
Lars Sullivan, Ricochet, and Velveteen Dream.
Adam Cole. Love Adam Cole.
Baby.
Adam Cole, baby.
Who do you got? Who
do I have for that match?
Adam Cole.
It's going to be between Adam Cole and Velveteen Dream.
No EC3? You think it's too early yet?
I think it's way too early for EC3. Velveteen Dream has been on an upward trajectory since War Games. I mean, you don't fight against Aleister Black for no reason.
No, I mean, it's a debut of a new belt. You put it on someone that you have big plans for in the future. Is Velveteen Dream truly a package that they want to contain and throw up to the main roster at some point?
With that,
or is he going to get fine-tuned?
I feel like with what you just said, then it makes more sense to be Adam Cole. But I do see it being a very good match, given that it's a
good match.
Even that it's a ladder match.
I think that steals the show personally, but I truly think the belt's going to Adam Cole.
Yeah, the North American Championship belt. You do have the NXT Championship belt between Andrade Cien Almas versus Aleister Black, which is going to be a good match. I've not seen much of Almas, but from what I did see, he's very talented. And Aleister Black also is just amazing.
Big dude.
Yeah, big dude. I would like to see Aleister Black get the belt, but I don't know. I feel like I don't know. That one is a toss up for me. Who would actually get it?
Okay.
Any additional thoughts on that match?
Not so much on that match as far as
who's the other guy? Is that the right? pair of people or no?
That is not the right pair of people.
Yeah, that was Aleister Black.
Oh, that's the main event. Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, you're going on. Okay.
I'm trying to get ahead of you.
Yeah. Okay, I see.
It's not going well.
Although
I like Velveteen Dream, Adam Cole is going to win due to the stipulation on the tag belts. He won't eat 2 losses in one night. Yes, which is actually we're going to get to there.
Raven Knight says, my prediction is someone will climb the ladder stupidly slow, then fumble with the belt for too long. I don't know. That's a good prediction.
I think you're spot on. So what Dizzle says there, we're going to segue into, which is indeed the triple threat tag team match for the NXT Tag Team Championships and Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Trophy. So it's a
people.
There's nothing on screen.
Damn it.
So you have the Undisputed Era, which does indeed feature Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. 2 great people who have traveled the world, New Japan, Ring of Honor. I personally have seen live, which I was privileged enough 3 years ago to see them when Ring of Honor came to Dearborn, which they come every year, but that was the time I had seen them, which I still need to show you the DVD of sometime, because I think you'd appreciate it. What about now? I see nothing.
Is it still not?
I don't see anything.
Nothing on there, dude.
So, let's ask who you want to win.
There we go. We got a picture.
Oh, there you go.
So down below we got the graphic for this.
So you got
who do I want to win and who do I think will win?
Both. Personally, I love the Undisputed Era. They're super freaking talented. Adam Cole.
They're champs going in though. I think they drop them. That's what I think will happen.
You know what? People from chat can correct me if I'm wrong, but not necessarily correct me if I'm wrong because I don't know, but I'm not sure if Authors of Pain have held the belt. Again, we haven't watched NXT in a while. I don't see them putting it on Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne because during the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Championship thing, they were kind of just thrust together, kind of the same way.
That's what happened before
with the bar. With the bar.
It wasn't the bar. It was with Finn Balor and Joe. They were rivals, and they tagged together and ended up winning the tournament.
I know, but they won the tournament. I'm just saying they...
Right, I'm saying, like, bitter foes become better partners.
I'm just saying I don't think they'll put the belts on them for being a newer tag team.
I don't know. I personally think that's who's going to win it. Roderick Strong and Pete. Yeah. Specifically because they need to elevate this dude who's had that UK title. Because that thing isn't doing anything.
No. I don't know. I don't know. Who I think's going to win are the Authors of Pain. Who I want to win, I want Undisputed Era to retain.
Okay.
Rob, thoughts?
We don't have to agree here.
No, we're not going to agree on that.
I got nothing here.
So that's that match.
Let's get to the Women's Championship. Because the last match is the one I want to talk about.
Okay. So we have Ember Moon, the champion. That is the correct image. Ember Moon going in as the champion, who's been a fantastic champion in my opinion.
She's been a fantastic.
Shayna Baszler. The rivalry has been based...
Baszler. Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler.
Shayna Baszler. I'm from somewhere
else. I'm from Texas.
I'm from Texas. So, personally...
That's gigantic.
That is very big.
Do you use the studio mode or?
I am using the studio
Our producer, seducer, director, erector is creating chaos. So,
Murdy families.
Honestly, at this point, I think Ember Moon is eventually ready for a call up.
I do too, but do you think it's going to be that quick to put?
Who's getting called up on Monday?
That is true.
Ember Moon.
That is very true.
So as much as I would like to see her retain it, I think we're ready to send her up.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Dizzle says, I think Strong and Dunn will win because Authors of Pain are going to get called up to main. Nothing for AOP to stay in it. You really think they're going to get...
I could see them getting called up because I think there's going to be more influence on the tag division coming soon.
You think so?
Yeah. I don't think they'll do great, personally, on the main roster, but I think they could get called up because they're indeed right. Dizzle says there's not much to stay for.
Omega says Authors of Pain versus the Usos in the future. Book it.
Yeah, Moon loses, moves up to the main roster. I agree.
Yeah, I could see that. Again, I haven't watched very much NXT, so I don't know how big the Authors of Pain are. But I do agree with Raven Knight saying that Moon's going to lose and moves up. But no matter whether or not she wins or loses, that match is going to be fucking amazing. Ember Moon, you could put her in there with a body pillow, and she'll just tear the house down.
Put her in there with me.
That'll be an awful match.
What?
A body pillow is better than you. Yeah, it is.
I could take a slam.
I don't know. Just a little tangent about Shayna Baszler. When I was watching the women's Shayna Baszler, when I was watching the women's classic, I absolutely hated her because she did not, to me, feel like a wrestler. She felt like it felt to me like she was still doing MMA.
You have what's her name on the main roster doing the same crap. I don't like her. We'll get to her when we get to that match.
Oh. Rousey?
No, that's a whole different topic. We'll get to her. I'll bring her.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay. Sonya Deville. Anyway, but yeah, I think no matter who you put Ember Moon in a match with, it's going to be fantastic. I feel like Shayna Baszler is ruthless enough to bring out the best.
Ruthless aggression.
No, not Baszler. He was talking about Sonya Deville. Yeah. But we'll get to her. But I do think Shayna Baszler will bring out the best in Ember Moon. I think she already has. So I think that match is going to be awesome to watch.
And your main event.
I've been so excited for this match. Not that one.
Not that one?
It's Tommaso Ciampa and...
No, that's not
what?
NXT Championship, dude.
We already talked about that one.
Andrade
and Aleister Black.
Did we?
Yeah, I did.
I mean, you mentioned it, which is why that was the next one that I grabbed. You guys didn't discuss it. And there's no other matches on the list here.
There's Johnny Gargano. We'll talk about that, and then we'll go to the NXT title since he's chomping here. Well, Ciampa. He's Ciampa here.
I'm chomping at the bit.
So Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa. Again, fantastic tag team. You get two guys that build them up.
Knock them down.
So those are usually the best rivalries.
But the way that they broke up too was just so fantastic. Like I hated it. In the business, you want them to hate the person who breaks them up, Tommaso Ciampa. And the way he did it, just throwing him off the ramp through whatever it was just amazing.
So this match, it's unsanctioned, right?
Yeah.
You know the stipulation?
I don't.
So if Gargano wins, he will be reinstated to NXT. That's why it's unsanctioned. If Ciampa wins, Gargano will be fired from NXT forever, meaning he's getting called up.
Oh, that would be amazing, Johnny Wrestling.
So I think he would do pretty good on the main roster and the mid-cards. He could be a decent Intercontinental Champion.
I think he would be a fantastic Intercontinental or U.S. Champion. Hopefully putting him with the U.S. Champion to elevate that title. Because who has the U.S. title right now? Exactly. Exactly.
Who does that? Isn't it Randy Orton? Because he had never won it? Yeah, Randy Orton's your U.S. champion.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's only because he never won it.
Current United States champion, yeah, Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Which is on SmackDown, which I think... Thank you, Trevor. Which I think he would do really good on SmackDown.
He could be a good SmackDown talent.
Because... Oh, that was a weird crack. On SmackDown, it's the land of opportunity. You have so many good talent on there. Isn't Ty Dillinger on? Like he did well when he came up. But anyway, I want. So what were the stipulations again? If Tommaso Ciampa wins, Gargano.
If Ciampa wins, Gargano will be fired.
Okay, then I want Ciampa to win. Simply because
if they call up, what do they do with Gargano? I doubt they'll push him into champion status.
No, maybe not right away, Dizzle, but I think eventually they'll try to push him towards one of those mid-card champions. But if they call up Gargano, what will they do with? Oh, I think he meant what do they do with Ciampa? Yeah, I don't think they'll push Ciampa up. I think
polish him up and keep him around.
Yeah,
it's the problem is with NXT, you have a lot of potentials, but you can't call everybody up at the same time because you see what happens to all the talent. You get a Tyler Breeze.
Oh, dude, Tyler Breeze was like amazing in NXT.
Screwed him over. The other thing that screwed up half these call-ups was the 205 Live.
Yeah.
I personally am not a fan of what they've done with that.
You think Ciampa's going to have a strong loss?
Strong loss.
I don't know. I think it's going to be a really good match, but I think I think ultimately Ciampa's going to win, so that way they can bring up Gargano. If Gargano wins, what are they going to do? Just draw out that match or that?
He'll lose, but so I mean, sure, yeah, that's the safe.
But that's Ciampa losing.
Yeah.
That just means that Gargano will stay in NXT. But what are they going to do with him once he's in NXT? I don't think he's championship ready. Not with Aleister Black and Almas in there.
I'm saying Johnny's getting called up. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's losing.
But to Omega's credit, it will be a strong loss, but just for Gargano. It's going to be an amazing match. But I do think that there's going to be really good call-ups on Monday.
Sure.
Did you still want to talk about the Almas match and Aleister Black?
We could touch on it. I don't have a lot to say about it. I don't have feelings for either of them.
I mean, I like Aleister Black. I want him to win. I'm not invested in the match.
You're correct about call-up killing careers. They pushed Gargano a bit and put him in some strong stories. Yeah, sure. Again, I think he'll do all right. It all depends on what happens going forward because there's no longer pay-per-views that are split anymore. We're done with that. WWE is going back to joint pay-per-views again. So it's going to be interesting who they utilize for pay-per-views now. So it's going to be really important that they utilize the people they have.
Omega said he can't survive 2 career-threatening losses in a row. True, but I don't know. I guess there's arguments for both sides. You know what I mean? There's going to be arguments for both sides.
What you can do is tune in tomorrow night to find out. Let's talk about, real quick, the Andrade Cien Almas, which is a fitting champion here. Definitely worthy of taking it from Drew McIntyre. So I want Drew to get healthy soon. I think he's about ready for a return.
Who?
Drew McIntyre.
Oh, right.
He got injured at the very end of their match. Dropped the belt to him, obviously, last winter. And I think Aleister is ready to take that belt from Cien. That's just my thoughts on that. I don't have a lot of in-depth for it.
Yeah, I'm not invested in that match too much, but...
No. So that concludes tomorrow night's NXT show. It'll be a classic. I truly think that they'll put on yet another great show. I'm really looking forward. I'm a big collector, not only of the network, but obviously of physical media still. I still purchase each and every one of their events, and I'm really looking forward to them putting out more NXT stuff because a lot of the stuff they have put out is really worthy of being placed on my shelf.
Yeah. So I think we will. I kind of want to talk. I don't know if you want to, but I kind of want to talk about the 2 go-home shows before Mania, just a little bit, just to touch on what I thought.
Just a recap.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to include that in recap of individual matches? Since we're going to be talking about build-ups anyways, of each storyline?
Yeah, we could. I have to pee, though, because I always pee during all of our streams, and I drank an entire one of these earlier. So if you want to kind of touch on what the matches are, I'll come back and we'll talk about them.
Yeah. First off, I'll just poll the audience. Let's talk about what is everyone's favorite WrestleMania and why. So chat right now. Put in the chat. I want to know what your favorite WrestleMania was and why.
I'm going to throw an answer out there, largely just to be a smart aleck. I was always a big fan of 13.
13, why?
Undertaker won the strap.
Okay, I mean, that's fair.
I'm not going to lie to you, that is literally the only thing I remember about that WrestleMania. That Undertaker won the heavyweight championship at it.
And it was 13 and it was purple?
Well, that's why I remember that, because it was like, Undertaker 13, woo, themes. I don't remember which one it was at, but was it Mania? Shawn Michaels Ric Flair retirement match? That was Mania, right?
That was. I believe that was
a good match.
WrestleMania 24. Shawn Michaels Ric Flair, him retiring down in Florida, Orlando. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But that was an emotional moment.
Yeah. Especially, like, if you really get into it and go back and watch, like, replays and stuff, you catch that moment where Shawn says, "I'm sorry, I love you," and then Super kicks him in his-
favorite.
So Omega says X7, The Rock beat down an Austin Swerve. Another great Mania moment. Personally, I'm fond of 3. 22, WrestleMania being the one I was at. Obviously, that'll hold memory for me. WrestleMania 20, Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero embracing in the middle of the ring. I don't care about anyone's history or personal things. Obviously, it's very tragic. I shouldn't discount what happened because it's quite awful. But as just in a vacuum of just wrestling, that moment was very emotional and amazing. The other one being Daniel Bryan at 30, capturing the belts actually in New Orleans.
We watched that one together. That's the first one we watched together.
That is the first one. When we were there with Desi,
Yeah.
it was when Undertaker. Sorry, Des. But that moment, seeing him win, another great moment from an underdog. So those are some of my favorite WrestleMania moments.
I think Rob mentioned my favorite Mania moment was Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, right?
No, I said Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair.
Oh, that's the one.
Shawn
Sorry.
Michaels.
Yeah, that was it. Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair. That moment when he did like mouth the words "I'm sorry." That was the first time where at any Mania, the first time I was ever like, I can't right now. I'm just
get you a little
like
rusty, don't
yeah, a little bit because I'm just like that kind of had the same sort of feel as I can't remember what it's called right now, but when like Diesel, Scott Hall, and all of them like hugged in the ring.
Oh, the curtain call.
Curtain call, yeah, the same kind of thing. You're seeing that raw emotion come out from
behind the scenes.
yeah,
Behind the curtain.
yeah. That was a legitimate laugh. That was a small.
It was a bad
Dude, I am shedding Flair tears.
21-1 was solid, shedding Flair tears.
But that was my favorite moment.
You know, I love that moment, but seeing Ric Flair go over to TNA and have matches against Hogan was just a shit on everything that WWE did for him. And so,
I don't acknowledge that as a real thing.
Yeah, but you can't not.
But I do. TNA is not a real thing to me.
In the moment, it was great, and I don't feel like your recollection of that moment should be tarnished by what he did afterwards.
If you're retired, stay the fuck retired.
Well, and that's
Favre.
the thing. The other side of that is, he kind of shit on it a little bit, but you should be able to look back at that moment for what it was.
Oh, it was a great moment for what it was, sure. But again, it has a nice big
he had
pile
no
of
business
shit
going
on
to
it.
TNA and getting back in the ring. He probably should have retired before Shawn Michaels put him down. Are you kidding me? Probably. He definitely should have.
Old Yeller.
Hold Yeller. Put him down.
Fuck.
So let's get into the matches.
Yes,
Yeah,
let's. So this is not in any specific order, but since we talked about Daniel Bryan as one of my favorite moments, Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. The stipulation being if Owens and Zayn win, they will be reinstated to SmackDown. If they lose, they will remain fired, meaning they'll just go to Raw.
See, this one, you know how every Mania, every match, you're like, you can sit down and think, who's gonna win? This and this and this. You're trying to like put pieces together to figure out who's gonna win the match, and ultimately, most of the time, you're right. This one I cannot figure out because.
I can.
Tell me.
Easy.
Tell me.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn win.
Why?
Why not? They deserve to win.
Okay, but hear me out. I've had so many things running through my brain. First of all, Daniel Bryan just coming back from, not wrestling for so long, and Shane McMahon being injured, right? So part of me is like, why would they?
On Owens' team. Yeah, if you know anything about me, I'm not a huge fan of.
No,
he's implying that you look like Sami Zayn.
Oh, you know what?
the hat too.
Not really doing yourself any favors.
Isn't that what he does? This little fucking thing, like, hey, I'd Sami Zayn.
I'm so prepared to like him.
Yeah, I was too. Sami Zayn annoys me.
When he does that dive,
Dude, he
what?
was.
It's so sick.
Dizzle said, or Shane heel turn.
That's
Owens.
what I fully expect. That is truly what I fully expect.
Okay, so let me tell you what I was thinking before you get into that. What I was thinking is, since Daniel Bryan just now coming back from not wrestling after so many years, hard-fought battle, looks like Sami and Owens win, but ultimately they lose, then get called back up to Raw, because they'll be fired from SmackDown. They don't say they'll be fired.
Sure.
That was my thought process.
I mean, why I don't disagree with you, I think what Dizzle thinks exactly. I think a heel turn, you elevate and feel sympathy for a returning Daniel Bryan who got screwed over because McMahon, and you also get to keep the heel heat with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They rise, and they still should stay on SmackDown because what are they going to do on Raw?
I didn't think that far.
No, it's fine. But I'm just saying, I agree with Dizzle here. I think McMahon, for one, he's going to ride off into the sunset. From my understanding, he's taking some time off of TV after this.
So I didn't hear that, so that probably would make more sense that way.
Right. So I think to give sympathy for the babyface who's returning, you get a screw job, and...
Like father, like son.
Yeah, essentially. Because Shane McMahon could afford heel heat. Because any McMahon could be a face and a heel in the same night. It doesn't matter. Like, so that is my thought. I think Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn wins. And
I really don't know. Honestly, I could see it going both ways, so I kind of don't care. I feel like I'm going to go into that match like rooting for Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon, but if Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens win, I'm not going to be like when Undertaker lost, you're like, motherfucker.
No, I'm not invested emotionally in this match. Personally, I think Daniel Bryan should not come back to wrestling. I think he should stay retired. He is the father now, and he should really safeguard his health and really ride on the fact that your prime is now behind you and you had some great moments, because I truly worry, because this dude admitted to having seizures because of his head injuries. That is not okay. I don't care if doctors have cleared you or not. If you have a history of that kind of thing, all it does is take one bad bump to the head and you're done again. And then what? And then you have a vegetable of a father to raise a kid? I'm sorry.
Have you seen VeggieTales? They raise everybody's kids.
It's just, I don't know. I was a huge, and still am, I support Daniel Bryan, but I do not support this decision. Rob says, I'm in my prime. But I ultimately think...
You haven't had like 13 concussions.
I ultimately think that he was cleared. I think there was money slid under the table somewhere, because
hey man,
his contract...
You're getting into deep waters there, buddy.
His contract is coming up, and he has talked openly about, I don't give a damn what WWE doctors say. I'm going to find a way to get cleared, and I'm going to go wrestle, and he's going to get welcomed with open arms with Ring of Honor, where he's been before, obviously, or TNA or New Japan. He will get a payday wherever he goes outside of WWE, and they will follow him there.
Looking with the chat?
Yeah, I was waiting for him to finish, but I want you to... No, because Facebook is still broken.
Oh.
To jump in on the who wins, Rob Reynolds said on Facebook, Owens and Zayn win, no way they let them walk.
Right. So
shut up, Rob.
So ultimately, these are my thoughts. Welcome back, Daniel Bryan. It's great. The Yes movement. It's not going to be the same as it was before, unfortunately. I think it'll be that whole uncertainty of how they've booked Dolph Ziggler since his concussions. He was champion, Money in the Bank. He got hurt. He dropped the belt, and he's been a mid-carder with shit storyline since.
Next match.
Andre the Giant
Good.
Memorial Battle Royal. That's Andre the Giant right there. That guy right there. That's him.
Anybody want a peanut?
Which he has okay. He's got a documentary coming out soon, or already out-ish. Coming out soon. HBO. I'm looking forward to seeing that. So,
I'm sad this is on the kickoff show.
It is. This is part of the kickoff show.
Wow, really?
But it's a battle royal. It's not going to be exciting because it's
I mean,
a battle
it'll
royal.
be
It'll be a good kickoff show.
It'll be enjoyable because it's wrestling.
What does this do for your career?
I don't know, man, but Primo's going to win.
No, he's not. Gronk is going to show up and win.
Gronk?
You think so?
Gronk, fuck yeah. Well, look at last year.
Yeah,
Gronk
but
is going to be welcome. You have Shaq in this thing. Gronk is going to come down and win it.
Jabba Royale with cheese.
Right.
I think you're right about. You could be right about Gronk showing up, but I feel like he's going to help Mojo Rawley.
So what you're saying is Gronk can't win the big game?
Oh, legally no.
Fuck you, Patriots! Bitches. I hate Patriots.
I think it's going to be fun though, because you do have.
Launch your career nowhere. I agree, Raven Knight. It's done nothing for anyone who's won it. Name a person that has done really well.
Your career will go as high as Andre the Giant.
The Brooklyn Brawler.
The Brooklyn Brawler.
Are you supposed to tag champs right now?
Yes.
On SmackDown, yeah.
So, who has won this thing and has done really well?
Cesaro.
He hasn't done really well.
He's
done well.
Yeah, you said done well. You didn't say done really well.
Let's say really well. Then,
okay,
damn it.
Jesus Christ.
So who's done really well? so who's the fuck is his name? I don't like him.
Boring
Corbin.
Boring Corbin.
So Boring Corbin's in it again.
Boring Corbin. This match is made for mid-carders and people who they don't give a shit about to have their Mania moments.
Let's talk about those people like Dash Wilder, Scott Dawson,
Heath Slater,
Boring Corbin, Mojo Rawley,
Zach Ride-Me,
Ty Dillinger, Matt
Why
Hardy,
did I say that?
Dolph Ziggler, Tyler Breeze,
Kurt Hawkins,
Fandango, Goldust, Heath Slater.
The only
Rhino,
person I would want to win this match would be Kane.
Kane's not even on the card.
Yeah, he is. He's in this match.
Is he? Is he confirmed for it?
I mean, I'm looking at a website, so
Oh,
I mean, you can't lie on the internet.
Okay, I guess he's confirmed for it now. So,
my list has Kane, Ziggler, Corbin, Raleigh, Breeze, Fandango, Dillinger, Wilder, Dawson, Matt Hardy, could be Matt Hardy maybe, Goldust, Slater, Rhino, Ryder, Colon, or Primo Colon, Shelton Benjamin, Chad Gable, Aiden English, and Kurt Hawkins. So maybe Kane or Matt Hardy?
I say you give this one to Dillinger.
Oh, I would love to give it to Dillinger. Do I think they will? No. I did read that on the internet, that you can't lie on the internet.
I say you give that one to Dillinger. The wild card in this.
And then he just books it and makes his escape plan.
The wild cards in this being Matt Hardy, because of Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
Or Ziggler.
Oh, this is actually on the WWE.com webpage.
Okay.
So, Kane's confirmed.
So, it'll be a fine kickoff show. I'll be probably making burgers while this is on. So
yeah,
Ty needs a push.
He does need a push.
Dillinger,
did you read about what they were thinking about? They think about taking him off of WWE television.
Why?
Because since he came on, everybody's been doing the 10s for like the countouts, and they don't like it.
Well, guess what? You can't control the audience.
No, even if you take him away, they're still going to do it.
Yeah, they're going to do it more. You take him off TV, you're going to do it more. Silly.
Yeah, it's dumb.
So let's talk about the women's Fabulous Moolah Battle.
Oh,
wait.
No, not that one.
It's not the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal anymore.
Oh,
I wonder why.
Okay.
Do I need to replace my graphic?
No, because this is great. This is topical. So on March 15th,
maybe you should have done more research.
I did my research. So back on March 15th, it was renamed the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, and the Moolah Memorial Trophy was nixed.
God, that trophy looks
Fans on Reddit had started writing emails to WrestleMania's main sponsor, Mars Incorporated, urging them to push WWE to change the match's name. As requested, and other media outlets, Mars had called their choice of Moolah unacceptable and expressed their disappointment. So this drew significant backlash from fans and commentators alike due to allegations by numerous former female wrestlers that Moolah financially exploited and drugged the trainees she managed.
Dizzle calls it the Fabulous Pimp Battle Royal.
And even pimped them out to male promoters who sexually exploited or even raped them. Moolah was considered by many to be ill-fit for a Memorial Battle Royal.
Yeah, that's sad.
So, yeah, you probably did the right thing here by changing the name. Probably. So that little graphic right there, it's not that. So I'm glad you had the wrong one because it's very topical. Pimpin' ain't in the Big Easy. Nice. Nice. So let's talk about the participants that I have here. Fill in the blanks for any I've missed, please. Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Liv Morgan, Naomi, Natalya, Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, Bayley, Lana, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Mickie James, and Carmella.
You get Bayley?
Yes. Thoughts?
I don't think this is going to be very much of a topic.
This is a pre-show match. You got people who main evented for the title before in this match.
Yep.
Why?
You need a place to put them.
Dizzle says it won't be Bayley or Sasha because of the storyline.
Nope. I think it might be Ruby Riott.
Or you give it to a veteran. The only veteran in this match is Mickie James.
True, or Natalya. Could give it to Natalya.
Natalya be a nice fit.
Yeah, they've been pushing Natalya a little bit because of her feud, I guess. Whoa.
That broke.
Woo! Big graphic.
Because of her feud with Charlotte.
So I guess.
No, you're good.
Who do I want to win? Your waifu.
Becky Lynch?
Yeah.
Zing.
Becky Lynch is the best.
I'd be alright with that.
Mickey James, the close second.
Also, yes.
Becky need work.
What?
Oh,
Get out of here, Dizzle. You fired.
you fired. I think you're right though.
So you don't think the boss has got this?
Let me see those.
Nah, man. Order your own WWE loot crate.
I don't have any money.
Maybe if these people would donate to the stream.
Oh,
Let the begging begin.
Please.
Who do you want to
needs a
win?
loot crate.
Fund us.
Who do you want to win?
Who do I want to win?
Yeah,
I'd like to see Mickey James or
Okay.
Becky Lynch.
Sarah. Sarah's gonna win.
Sarah's gonna win. Sarah Logan, who's trying to be like.
No, Sarah.
No, I know.
Oh, okay.
So Sarah Logan, who's like Horizon Zero Dawn Tomb Raider, like her outfit. Like, what are you doing?
Well, to be fair, she was like that before the game came out. So
I know. I don't. For half these people, like Liv Morgan, I don't care about. Becky need push. Oh, okay. Becky's first SmackDown, then falls off the face of the earth because exactly. Okay.
yeah.
Becky needs this. Sasha Banks, they've fallen off with her as well. Liv Morgan, I could give a crap about. Couldn't give a crap about.
It's not gonna be Lana.
Naomi, maybe she's had a WrestleMania moment though. Ruby
Not-
Riott, no.
Not gonna be Mandy Rose.
No Mandy Rose, no Lana.
So I just said that.
Yeah, I'm just reaffirming. Sonya Deville, who's that? And when we were talking about the MMA thing, I don't really care for her. Personally, her matches suck.
I do think, actually, I'm going to agree with you. I think it's going to be Mickey James.
I'm leaning towards Mickey James because
Yeah.
it's a veteran, and it's great for the debut of this.
Yep.
And I'm biased too because she had her first women's title at the WrestleMania I was at. She beat Trish Stratus. So
Phenomenal match.
Trish returns and wins. I mean, that's the thing too.
Rusev Day.
So I talked about Gronk being like a surprise entrant in the men's. We do have a lot of people that showed up in the women's Royal Rumble this year who could be surprise entrants. But then again, we're on the pre-show here. Do we do that on the pre-show?
No.
So,
If they wanted more exposure with it, they would have.
and it's smart to put this on the pre-show to hide Carmella because I think we're getting a cash-in.
We will get to that next. Might as well.
No,
Well,
we'll
okay.
save that one.
Whatever.
Because he's got his graphics in a certain
I'm still
order.
filling. I don't have them in order anymore. I'm just filling them in as I can now.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to do them in order.
And I'm so
from-
angry, I'm not even going to make a joke about filling her in.
You'll be okay.
Okay.
So let's talk about
Somebody
probably one of the
gets that Trish in the air at the
biggest
Hall of Fame.
topics as far as the media is concerned for covering this event. We have Triple H, Stephanie McMahon in a mixed tag team match against Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey.
You want to know my thoughts about Rousey?
She's arousing.
Since she came to the WWE,
She came. Hey.
that wasn't odd.
Yikes.
DDP.
Yikes.
I haven't really had a chance to fully form an opinion about how.
Because she hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah. On
Her
one
mic
hand,
skills are not great.
not at all. On one hand, I'm excited about her presence, but coming from WWE,
She's
it's hard.
Santa?
It'll be. Shut
She
up.
has presence.
Shut up. Here you go. I'm trying to do. You had your serious moment
I'm trying to do.
Yeah, but you farted during mine.
twice. Don't you forget it.
God.
But with her coming from UFC, it'll be hard to not compare her to Brock Lesnar because of the background.
I mean, sure.
I really want her to be a big part of the women's division and work harder than anybody else because she stated that she's there. She's there to be there. But I'm going to be skeptical until then. So
Well, until we see some matches out of her, I'll be skeptical as well. And I truly think that this will be a topic of conversation, but she should have a mouthpiece like Paul Heyman. She should be the first Heyman woman, Heyman
Yeah.
girl.
Which I think is just going to further that comparison to Brock, though.
That's fine. You can compare all day then, because they're both from similar backgrounds. Will she be good as an athlete in that ring? Sure. She is judo, and that's her background. She'll be a fantastic grappler. She's been training really hard.
Hi, Andrea's mom.
Oh, hi.
Don't know her name.
So Triple H and Angle have to carry this with Rousey.
This is actually
spots. You know, Stephanie McMahon can put on a good match, though.
This is actually what I was going to say. As far as the match with Triple H and Stephanie and them go, it's the perfect match for her first match, and I'll explain why.
It's a good debut. It's safe.
Maybe it shouldn't have been at Mania because of the amount of pressure, but this way Triple H.
This is money, though.
Yeah, but Triple H and Angle could do a lot of the heavy lifting. A lot of the heavy lifting of the match, and pepper Rousey and Stephanie in enough to get the crowd in a roar, make her come off as the uber face taking down Stephanie. It'll be an entertaining match to say the least if they can pull it off, but
no. No. You know, that was my biggest worry this year. Their whole tweets and social media bursts of her being in a different country filming movies, she's not going to be there. I knew that was just a blowing smoke. I knew she was going to debut at the Royal Rumble. Should she next year win the Royal Rumble? No.
It's too early.
It's not that it's not that it's too early. She doesn't need that type of elevation. Just like Brock didn't need to win contenders matches for a belt. Brock just gets a title match because he's Brock Lesnar. The same will be said for her as she builds rivalries throughout the year and maybe has some decent matches. She doesn't need a Royal Rumble or Money in the Bank. Those are for things that people need to get kind of pushed into the spotlight or a natural.
But neither did Asuka.
Sure, neither did Asuka, but at the same time, that can be said, who else do you have? You want to ultimately build intrigue and hype for this. You don't need to necessarily put her in a Royal Rumble to build hype for a title match.
True.
There are other ways to book her, and I don't think a Royal Rumble is the best way to do it with her. She doesn't need it. Plus, I think it's a slap in the face for people who have been wrestling their whole lives and training to be in the WWE. For her to be like, hey, I suck at MMA now. I lost a couple times. Now, can I go over here and do this because I need money?
But to be fair, she did have a very impressive win streak up until those two losses.
I'm not discounting that, but I'm saying it's what happens to people when they kind of hit a wall in their prime. It happens to football players. It happens to MMA. It happens to sports in general. They hit a wall, and then they got to find something else to do at the end of their career.
I'm watching chat.
That's why I said never mind.
Oh. But remember, this isn't Angle from 10 years ago either. Think back to his appearance with the Shield. Kurt might not be able to carry like we think. No, Kurt's match here is going to be not as great either.
No, but I think what I was getting at is the amount of what's the word I'm looking for? Familiarity with each other. Triple H and Angle, they know each other's weaknesses and strengths at this point. They're good enough to be able to counteract those. And do and know to not do certain things because they can't do them physically.
Sure. Overall, this visually is an appealing match. Will it be one that lives forever?
I mean, I'm going to watch it just because Stephanie's outfit's going to be awesome.
Overall, I think it'll be an above-average match.
Yeah.
I think it'll be 10 minutes max. You'll see some unique spots. You'll see the crowd get into it just because of the swapping of who's going to start the match. It'll be stalled in the beginning, trying to figure out who starts it. But ultimately, yeah, Triple H and Angle will do most of the work, but that's not to discount that Stephanie can do some decent work in the ring. Right. She's proven that.
With Brie Bella, even though Brie Bella's not the most amazing in-ring worker,
right?
She was still able to put over.
I think it'll be an above-average match.
Yeah.
But again, don't put all your investment into it. Ultimately, who will
don't put all your eggs into her basket.
Right. Ultimately, who will end up winning it? I don't know. I honestly think the ego of the McMahons, they might go over. It's hard for them to bow down and lose here.
I think what I think is that Triple H. Can we
all do the "You Suck" chant? Of course, we'll be able to do that.
Ultimately, I feel like putting Stephanie and Triple H winning will only further. Rousey's anger or
that's fuel to the fire.
Yeah, it'll add fuel to the fire. Having them win in a dirty way will even make her angrier and maybe make for a better match later on.
Yeah, I think the heels win here. I truly think they do.
Yeah.
Could be.
But then again, I've been wrong before.
And we never know. So
on to the next one. The other one on the pre-show, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Eric. Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali for the vacant Cruiserweight Championship.
can we skip over this one? Because I really don't care.
Mustafa Ali.
I mean, I want Mustafa Ali to win, but it's...
Why is it vacant?
Hmm.
Moving on. The Usos, tag team champs, versus the New Day, versus the Bludgeon Brothers. All right, Wreck-It Ralphs. Triple threat tag team match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Thoughts?
Don't want the Bludgeon Brothers to win.
No. They are unappealing.
And kind of hate them.
Guys are so
205 snore.
Yeah, 205. I'm sorry, 205.
Yeah, I think Usos are going to retain.
Uso crazy?
Uso crazy. I have ever since the Usos did they leave and come back as the newer version?
They weren't deleted.
They,
Come on, guys. You're at home doing this with me.
I know because it was anyway.
Yikes.
I don't think the New Day.
Sure, Harper's a great worker. I'm not coughing because your comment is a true timing.
Harper's a great
Time
worker,
cough.
but Rowan, I feel like Rowan just keeps falling flat for me. Like that run that Luke Harper had when he was by himself and he was wearing the black wife beater and the jeans was amazing.
Which one of them got beat by The Rock that year in like the 5-second match?
It's probably Eric Rowan because
Because one of them was injured.
this is Eric Rowan.
Yeah.
I think. I don't remember.
It was like an impromptu 5-minute or 5-second match. It was pretty wonderful.
Yeah, I don't know. But I do want the Usos to retain because I like their gimmick a lot more now than it was before. They were really trying to be uber faces, which only made me kind of irritated with them.
And this is why I'm saying tag teams need to get brought up from NXT because honestly, this brand split is killing me. I am tired of seeing the same rivalries and the same matchups over and over again. I'm tired of seeing the Usos and the New Day. I love them, but we need to have new rivalries here.
Yeah.
It's getting stale real quick.
Brains Strowman.
Braun Strowman's fantastic. So
Did you see that on Monday?
I did see
Okay.
that. So, sure, I'll give it to the Usos.
I love the New Day, but I feel like the
love the New
Usos
Day.
are doing better
I-
with it.
I think, yeah. And apparently you can keep the titles and have a DUI too. That's something new. So that's
Which one had a D? Oh, one of the Usos. did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's apparently a thing you can do now.
So we'll move on to the next.
And they're even someone okay with Jeff Hardy doing his things.
Yeah.
So look that up because that's yikes. So we have here, speaking of brains, great segue here, The Bar, Cesaro and Sheamus versus Braun Strowman and
I think it's going to be Big Show.
okay, Big Show's decent. Samoa Joe's not on the card.
Lashley.
Bobby Lashley, a lot of people have been saying that because he's jumping from TNA to come over. Lashley be an interesting pick.
But what would be the benefit? Why would Strowman pick Lashley?
He's a fighter. He's a big guy.
But I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of who Strowman. I don't know. I don't know. There's really no way for me to even choose.
I heard rumor that Batista turned down a match for a return.
Turned down a match.
So, I mean,
it could be Bobby Lashley. I was thinking Big Show just because bigger guy. They're kind of about the same height.
the Hurricane.
I do agree with.
Braun should win alone.
Yeah, I do agree with
Ellsworth.
that. I think Braun should.
Hornswoggle.
I think Braun should come out by himself and say, "Fuck you! I'm doing this alone."
So there's a lot of rumor because Bray Wyatt was recently deleted
Yeah,
that he comes back. I personally would like to see them tag together.
you think so?
That would be interesting, yeah.
I don't like that
Why not?
because they were in the Wyatt family.
Wyatt was great. They were just misbooked horribly. They should have been dominant because Bray Wyatt is a great mouthpiece and he became unbelievable. because he would give these amazing promos and build-ups, and you're like, yeah, this dude is amazing. He's the next Undertaker, and then he fucking loses all the time.
Husky Harris.
Husky, yeah.
That really was what I was expecting out of him when you guys first started all trying to get me back into watching. And everybody was like, "Oh, Bray Wyatt, he's the next big thing." And you tune in, and he's
always
got the
fucking
fireflies and the thing, and like
his presence is amazing. He could deliver a promo unlike
And the crowd
most people.
loved him.
The crowd took to it. He's easily a face or a heel.
That's ultimately why I loved the.
And Wyatt is coming back woken. So yeah, you make a darker, maybe twisted, or even different version of Bray Wyatt.
I was ultimately hoping that Wyatt and Hardy would go as a tag team.
I think it'd be interesting, especially with Jeff's sideline, although he's supposed to be coming back.
Well, he had that recent shenanigans where he wrecked his car and had like 400 pounds of freaking drugs on him. Probably not that crazy, but it was a mass amount of pills.
He needs to relax a little bit.
Yeah, you need
That's
to go to
probably
rehab.
what the pills are for.
You need to go to rehab, not take 400 pills.
Yeah. I don't know, but
Matt Morgan, he'd be great. Has he passed his prime though? So, Elias. I believe Elias is on the card. He'll probably be in the Battle Royal if he's not.
Yeah.
Because we all got to walk with him, right?
yeah,
I'm not sold on him.
I'm not either. You want to move on to the next?
Yeah, personally, Braun Strowman, whoever he's with, they're taking the belt.
Oh yeah, agreed.
And Braun Strowman, I'm not going to jump into the main event yet, but he should have been in the main event because fuck you, Roman Reigns.
We'll get to that.
Braun's freaking championship, not yours.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots at WWE.
So where are we going next?
So we're going next with the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Charlotte Flair defending against...
I have some info about this.
Oh, you got the dirt?
I got a little bit of dirt.
We got a little dirt sheet here?
So earlier this
Okay.
week, news broke by the hosts of the SmackDown Live show that happens 2 days after Mania, showing a can't wait double main event. The flyer shows a WWE Championship match between AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura, which you could get to that. No surprise there, is there in a feud. However, now I think about it, it could be a rematch title. I don't know. It depends on how that match ends up. But the flyer also advertises a match between Charlotte Flair and Carmella, who, as we know, has been trying to cash in her Money in the Bank.
Does she cash it in? Because she can cash it in on either show.
Yeah. This doesn't necessarily mean that Asuka will fall to Charlotte. It just shows that there's going to be a possibility that Asuka won't be the champion come SmackDown Live. Here's some options that I wrote down. Asuka falls to Charlotte, Carmella cashes in. Or Asuka falls to Charlotte, no rematch, WWE moves forward. Then Carmella is like, oh, I get a chance. Or Charlotte and Asuka, battered and beaten, Carmella comes down to the ring to attack them both, ending in a DQ and Carmella cashing in. Any of these are possibilities. However, if the flyer's real, what we do know is that Asuka will have to wait to get her hands on the title just a little longer.
So if it's DQ, we're talking about a prestigious undefeated streak here for Asuka.
Yeah.
Unlike any other in this era of wrestling.
Yeah.
Does a DQ count as a loss for her? How does that work?
I mean, I would assume
you
so.
kill that momentum and push for her deserving to win this belt because of a cash-in moment?
Trevor,
Asuka wins undefeated until next Mania?
No, I don't think so because they
That's a hell of a streak, though.
yeah, but they wouldn't.
No,
I
they
feel
wouldn't
like-
give someone a belt for a whole year and do that and have them never show up? No.
I also think
WWE would never do that
I
shit.
also think with the first women's Money in the Bank, you wouldn't let that Money in the Bank go to waste. You wouldn't let it lapse.
So you're saying is you wouldn't have a guy capture it the first time and then have to do a rematch of it? You're right. Oh, James Ellsworth winning it for Carmella the first time? she
Oh,
won it?
that whatever.
They fucked up in that one.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, they fucked that up for sure. But they wouldn't do that again. They wouldn't let it lapse again. James Ellsworth isn't here.
It's true, but it's still the same writers, possibly.
If they're smart, which we probably know they're not always.
They don't make a lot of good decisions.
So, what do you think is the best for that?
Asuka wins. I think she diverts her cash in to Raw. I think the expected is that she cashes in on these two, and I don't think she cashes in here. I think Carmella goes and cashes in on the winner of Bliss and Nia Jax.
Can she do that though?
It's Money in the Bank.
It's for either title.
As far as my understanding of that.
I mean, yeah,
Raven
because
Knight says Carmella cashes in on Bliss.
yeah, I mean, I guess that would make sense because then you can bring up Ember Moon on SmackDown Live and then reignite that Ember Moon Asuka rivalry.
Yep. That's just my thought. I don't think they should mess with Asuka just yet.
I hope you're not giving my thought.
I think they need to utilize that to elevate someone else. And Carmella's not the... Even though I met you, hey, you're not
She's
the
not
one.
watching this.
Yeah, she might be.
She's not watching this.
She liked my Instagram post.
That's cool, man.
Whatever. I thought it was cool.
I think it's cool. But yeah, I want Asuka to win, which is hard because I love Charlotte too.
She's great, but she's already had the championship, what, 5 times? 4 times?
Yeah, but she's a Flair.
Okay. So you have to give her the belt 16 times?
WWE thinks so.
She's been around for like 4 years.
WWE thinks so.
Talking about blowing your load.
But
I don't want to talk about that.
So since we're talking about Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax, let's talk about Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. This rivalry
It's weird to me.
well, it's very reminiscent of a certain superstar involved in it. If you look back when Mickie James was fulfilling her contract about 7-8 years ago, you had Michelle McCool and Layla making fun of Mickie James for being bigger. Mickie James is not that big of a girl. And they made fun of her because she wasn't a stick like Michelle McCool.
Yeah.
Now you have a storyline with Mickie James making fun of someone who is bigger, when WWE actively is against this kind of bullying, if you will. They're activists against
Which
that.
is why I think Nia's going to win.
Sure, she's going to win. Yeah, that's the end result here. Nia Jax wins. But it's a weird storyline.
Jax wins. Fatality.
So yeah, the Piggy James. Rick knows. We watched it together during that.
Oh, and there goes Dizzle. Jax goes over because WWE's program frowns on bullying.
Exactly. So ultimately, Alexa Bliss is an
Piggy James.
amazing champion.
I love Alexa Bliss.
But she's dropping the belt. She can get it back. This doesn't hurt her losing at Fartmania. I heard that.
You heard nothing, Jon Snow.
You just rumbled over
everybody
there.
heard that.
I saw the volume bar go. So, yes, she drops it. We see maybe Nia Jax's moment crushed by Carmella, and then you shift into a rivalry there. That's my thought. Jax wins, though.
Yeah.
Hands down. Thoughts?
Agreed. No, I agree with you. Doesn't happen very often, but it did.
Moving on. Do you have any more to say about that?
No, I think you hit all the points. Yeah, Bliss is a hard worker.
This is fantastic.
She's a great champion. She's a great worker for the company. Great charisma. I love Alexa Bliss. When she first came in through NXT, where she was like she was blue hair Bliss, I didn't really think about it. Yeah, Sparkle. And then as soon as she got paired up with what was that tag team in NXT? Oh my God, I'm losing my mind.
Buddy Murphy.
Buddy Murphy and
Blake and Murphy.
Blake and Murphy. Thank you, Dizzle. Jesus Christ. But yeah, as soon as she got paired up
She's
with...
engaged to one of them.
No, she's not. Sarah Lee is from Tough Enough.
I would look that up. I'm pretty confident.
I think Bliss is single.
Total Divas says otherwise. Yes, I watched it.
I do too.
Dizzle says yes, she is.
Buddy
She's the
Murphy. Okay. So, and Sarah... Wait. Yeah, Buddy Murphy. And Sarah Lee, the chick from Michigan who did Tough Enough, she is engaged or with Blake.
Okay.
I did not know about...
So they should have a
Murphy.
rivalry. That'd be interesting.
That'd be weird, yeah. But yeah, I love Alexa Bliss. But as soon as she got paired up with that tag team, like she really got hardcore into that bitchy heel, which fucking phenomenal. It's what she still is right now.
I loved her retain at the last pay-per-view where she was almost emotional-like, where she was crying, and
Yeah.
then she turned on everyone. I was like, holy crap. I was truly convinced that she was being emotional for a moment. I'm like, oh, this is really genuine and neat. Do we see maybe a little bit more to the character here? And we did see a little bit more into the evilness of the character, and I thought that was sold really well.
And yes, everybody does love Biscuit Butt.
Biscuit Butt.
You want to move on to the next match?
So we only have a few more matches left.
Cool.
We have next the Fatal 4-Way for the WWE United States Championship we were talking about earlier, which we were like, who has that belt? Man, Randy Orton has that belt, of course.
I think one of two people are going to get the belt.
So we have Bobby Roode, Jinder Mahal, and Rusev.
I think Bobby Roode or Rusev are going to get it.
Didn't Bobby Roode have it though?
That's true, he did. Then I would. It's not going to go to. It's not going to go to Jinder.
Nah, Jinder, you had your time when WWE is trying to get on India television.
Yeah.
Thank you for solidifying that.
Thank you for that
Yeah.
time of lovely programming.
I mean, it was interesting. It was something different.
I do think with the rise of Rusev Day, that I agree. Omega Rusev needs this. He does, because he's.
Need it, but...
Well, did you hear about what happened? Why Rusev got into the match? Because he was threatening to leave the company because he wasn't happy with his booking.
Well, he can go then. I don't like Rusev personally.
I love Rusev.
I think he's a piece of shit towards his wife too.
Jinder is awful. I agree.
Jinder needs to stop taking steroids.
Oh my God, yes. But yeah, I think Rusev's going to take it. It's going to be fun to watch because Bobby Roode is always...
Bobby Roode will be great. The entrances will be fantastic to watch for this.
For all of them, I think. All the entrances are going to be great.
But ultimately, I think this goes to Rusev, as much as I don't want it to. Orton's not keeping the belt.
No.
As you can see, most of the titles are going to change hands during this pay-per-view. It's 13 matches in total. I think almost all the belts are changing.
Glorious.
So, I mean, not a lot to talk about with this one either. Obviously, we touched on the main points.
Yeah.
Smack myself. Rusev is not great. No.
Every day is Rusev Day.
Him and Aiden English. I fast forward or turn off when Aiden English is on.
I don't like Aiden English.
I can't stand
But
him.
as much as I don't like Aiden English,
the Vaudevillains were the best thing they ever did.
Yeah.
Didn't that other guy get released?
Simon Gotch?
Yeah.
I think so.
He said, "Oh, you peeped that, huh? Rusev is crafty line. Rusev is a piece of work. If you watch Total Divas or any behind-the-scenes stuff, whether or not it's a character acting or him playing to television, you don't fucking treat people like that."
No, he's a shithead. So yeah, that one's. I think Rusev's gonna take that one. What do we got? What do we got next?
We have the triple threat match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship, which I personally think may steal the show, if not be the second best match on the card.
I think it's going to be the best match on the card.
High potential. It has competition. But
What do you think would be the other one?
What would be the next match we get to?
Really? Wait, I don't know what that one is. I'm looking at the information that I have.
So we'll segue into it at the appropriate time then. So with this one, obviously The Miz just welcomed in his daughter.
Yep.
Congratulations. That's always exciting to have happen.
I think I agree with Dizzle, by the way.
Finn, because Mr. had... Sure, yeah. I was ultimately going to say that he's going to need time off for the fact that he's still remaining on TV with Brandon Newborn. That's dedication. But yeah. I've never once said that Miz didn't have dedication to the company or have what it takes. He's been a great face for this company. And actually, he's one of the most tenured people on the active roster if you look at who's active right now. The Miz is. That's crazy. Yeah. One of the defining moments in WrestleMania history was him going over on Cena, ultimately setting up the Cena-Rock rivalry. But just him seeing that everything he wanted and everything he came from, he's had a great career in WWE, and he will definitely be a future Hall of Famer. As much as I'd love him to keep the belt because he's added a lot of prestige to it, I ultimately think that Finn Balor does look good or will look good with that belt. Seth Rollins doesn't need it because I think he'll personally segue to a rivalry with the new champ with the Universal belt. But we'll get to that. So that's my thought.
That's a sad topic.
Finn Balor wins it.
I do think Finn Balor is going to win it. I mean, I do like Seth Rollins with a belt. I think he shines a little more because he has that. Even though lately he has been fire. He has, in fact, burned it down many times. Yeah, I love his entrance.
Should be back.
Are we still live?
I don't know.
You're back. Maybe? Rob's phone's blowing up because Trevor can't watch his show anymore. Probably talking about something he's interested in. He's gone.
All right. Well, Twitch says we're back.
You guys
Are we
back
back?
on
Can you hear me?
YouTube's back.
Are we back?
I just said that.
Oh, cool.
Facebook's back too.
So,
Cool. Sorry
All
for the
hiccups.
yeah.
We're going to add some suspense as we built up to the main events here.
Whooperdoodle.
So, did we conclude The Miz, Seth Rollins, and Balor? Thoughts?
Well, yeah, I think we concluded it. I do wish, or I do think that it's going to be a really good match. And as I was going to say before we glitched out, I agree with Trevor. Miz is severely underrated. Even though as of late he's been doing so well, but I love the Miz. Not much bad stuff I could say.
So, as I said, this match has major competition of being worthy
We're
of
not over here.
the match to steal the show. This other match is what it's competing with.
Yeah.
That match being AJ Styles, the WWE Champion,
Oh,
finally getting his moment
totally forgot about this
to
match.
face none other than Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh.
Again, this is going to be an amazing
This,
entrance.
I think
and
you're right,
amazing
though.
match.
I think this is going to steal the show and be the best show.
Watching them in the
match.
past in New Japan and the stuff that they've been able to do, these guys have had storied careers and have come a long ways. Shinsuke Nakamura in the past has... we're fine.
I got
Move around. So you want to do this? So Nakamura in the past, hey, we got a view count. That's amazing.
Oh,
That's okay.
It was
So-
higher before we crashed.
Some highlights of...
really?
I haven't seen it the whole
Oh.
time.
We had a good people watching on the YouTubes.
We were up to a total of 11 between Facebook, YouTube,
Oh
and Twitch.
shit!
Okay.
For a hot minute, and then when we crashed, obviously we lost some people.
So some
That's
historical matches, obviously with Shinsuke Nakamura being in New Japan, he's had a lot of really good matches over Wrestle Kingdom. One of them facing off against none other than Brock Lesnar.
I think this
So-
is going to be a great match.
AJ Styles, obviously from the X Division into championships over at TNA, even having a single match on Monday Nitro. So he's one of the few people that have been on WCW, Monday Nitro, Monday Night Raw, TNA, and New Japan. I think he might be one of the only that has been in all of them.
I think I agree with both Trevor and Dizzle. Trevor says, "Can't wait for this one. Should be the main event." I agree. It should be the main event.
It won't be though.
No, it won't be. And you know what makes me sad about that? If you win the Royal Rumble, you're in the main event of WrestleMania.
Well, they've changed the wording of that, though, I think,
They
in
did.
recent years. You
Which
earn a
pisses me
championship
off.
opportunity now,
Yeah.
is the thing.
But also, Dizzle says Nakamura goes over. AJ can survive dropping the belt. Nakamura goes into a booking
This is
nightmare.
Nakamura's,
This is his title run.
this is his run into the summer. He deserves it. And sure, AJ Styles bounce back easily.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not mad with either of these people. So if AJ retains, I'm okay with it. If Nakamura wins, I'm okay with it. Either way, this match will be potentially the best match of the night, which ultimately will have a buffer match in between what we're going to talk about for closing here.
Wait,
But-
that's going to be a buffer match, you think?
Well, there'll be a match in between this one. They're not going to put the two title matches back to back.
Oh, between this one and... Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
AJ has nothing left on SmackDown. Time to go to Raw. Definitely. So again, Nakamura wins. Nakamura needs to win because he's been used bad.
I don't think he's been used bad as
not
much as...
solid though.
Yeah.
But a lot of it has to do with the language barrier.
Yeah, there's bad, good, and then he's been right in that middle ground, I think. He's not been booked bad, just not had the chance yet. And this is the chance he gets, which he will ultimately, I believe he will win because, again, I do agree with Dizzle when he says that AJ can survive the loss. Nakamura needs it to kind of be pushed to that next level. Then he will officially be top tier. And then, it's kind of like, I don't know. I agree.
Yeah, Nakamura wins. I mean, there's nothing bad to say about this match or who wins or loses here, but truly Nakamura wins.
There's one bad thing to say. It's not the main event. The only bad thing.
So let's talk about
Knee to the face.
let's talk about this main events real quick.
Oh, man.
Brock Lesnar, the champion, for a year since last WrestleMania, beating Goldberg, who is facing Roman Reigns.
Okay, so here's with this match, I kind of want to address what happened on Raw.
Go for it.
Oddly enough, one of the standout moments on Raw was...
No one wins. We'll go with that. No one wins. I agree. End of show.
That makes sense to me.
Go ahead.
Yeah, oddly enough, the standout moment from Raw was the face-off between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. The fans may not have been on Reigns' side for most of his solo career, but last night, some actually seemed to be, or not last night. I wrote this on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Some people seemed to be cheering Reigns as Paul Heyman mocked and belittled the WWE Universe, as he tends to do. Excuse me, stating that, quote unquote, "We laughed at each and every single one of you" when he referenced WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans, where Brock Lesnar beat The Undertaker and beat the undefeated streak. So it seems like every time they bring up the undefeated streak, whoever is going against Brock Lesnar will get some sort of cheers when they eventually attack him.
But they've both beat Undertaker.
Right. But that's not what people like to focus on. If you put those two on a pedestal and you said...
Oh, Raven, no. Get out of here. Finish your thought, and then I'm going to attack Raven.
If you put those two matches, Roman Reigns and Undertaker, Brock Lesnar and Undertaker, on two plates and told people to choose which one they hated more, they're going to pick the Brock Lesnar one every time because of the fact it ended his streak and they didn't want it to go to Brock Lesnar.
It ended his streak, but it's not completely Brock's fault. Undertaker suffered a concussion halfway through that match, and Brock carried him.
That's not... I know, but that's...
Right, but at face value, without knowing these facts, sure.
Yeah.
But if you wash it back and have an understanding of that, it's not Brock's or Undertaker's fault that that match was not as good as the Roman one.
No, that match shouldn't have happened at all.
Well, sure.
Yes.
Yes, the final thought, totally agree. That match shouldn't have happened at all. But I actually have to disagree with your statement earlier that if you put the two against each other, people are always going to say they hate Lesnar more because it ended the streak. I do hate that the streak ended to Lesnar. That hurts my feelings every time I think about it, but I actually think the Roman Reigns match was significantly worse to watch.
So
I was more not talking about watching, rather...
the
significance of it.
So let me piggyback off that because you actually...
Outside of the closing moments of it, him saying goodbye, I hate everything about that Roman.
Yeah, but that wasn't
top to bottom.
If it were anybody else than Reigns, that would have probably still happened.
Yeah, I just think it was a bad match.
So here's the thing. We got a lot of stuff coming in. So to piggyback off of what you said with the sentiment of the fans kind of booing Brock Lesnar, remember what I said earlier about Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 20. The fans are pulling the same resentment now for Brock Lesnar because we all know his contract is done. His last appearance is WrestleMania. He is dropping that belt. We've known all along that Roman Reigns is the poster child, the replacement for John Cena, and all this. We all hate him because he's being pushed as the golden goose. Yes, and it's not organic. You can't push someone who doesn't have the same talent as The Rock had. Yeah. So the timeline, if you were to compare The Rock and Roman Reigns on a same year-by-year timeline, The Rock improved drastically and was natural. Roman Reigns does not possess any of the skills that The Rock had and never will. That is why the fans have not been behind Roman, and now why the fans are booing Brock, because we all know he's going back to the UFC. Will he come back to the WWE at some point? Sure. But we all know the outcome. We've known the outcome every year. When they push Roman Reigns, they don't give a shit what the fans say. They're going to go ahead and put him in these situations, and he's going to win every time. Yeah. We all know it. That's the problem, is it's too damn predictable. And the fans don't want that.
Yeah. But I will say, to kind of piggyback off of Raven Knight, I agree he doesn't have terrible matches. He's not a terrible talent. He was just booked and pushed down people's throats. That I can't stand. But that doesn't have to do with his talent. That goes with him pandering to the audience and trying to be one of those top talents. That is awful too. But he can wrestle. When he was in the Shield, he put on some of the greatest matches I've seen with him and Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins.
All he was the enforcer. He was protected by the Shield. You had Dean Ambrose was the hardcore guy, Seth Rollins the natural talent, and then you had the bodyguard. He was just a big guy. He was the muscle.
But what I'm saying
He was
is
protected.
I'm thinking exactly what Raven Knight just said. He's not The Rock, which I agree he shouldn't be pushed like he is, but he definitely is better than the fans give him credit for. The reason why the fans
Sure, but he's not the face of the company.
No, but that's not his.
That's what they're putting him in.
That's not his. He's going with what creative is pushing, right?
Well, yeah,
so,
he doesn't have a choice.
Stupid man punch. Yeah. No. Rick, I'll get to that in just a second because I actually do have a thought on that. But I think that he got pushed so hard down everybody's throats a couple years in a row with the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble started it because that was not supposed to happen that way. Daniel Bryan should have won that fucking Royal Rumble. Everybody knows it. They fucked up. They decided to push him harder. Everybody hated it, and now we're here.
Well, yeah, that's the domino effect. It was the thing that triggered it all, sure. But ultimately, if that event hadn't happened that way, do we still think we'd have the same resentment? I truly do. Because
no, I don't, and I'll say why. You mean resentment towards Roman Reigns?
Or WrestleMania main events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's creative pushing. See, if he wasn't pushed, or if he rose organically, I don't think we'd have the same resentment because he wouldn't be as far along as he is right now. He would still be a mid-carder, I think.
No, look at the talent pool. They don't push anyone else. That's the other problem. You get the same 3 to 5 guys. You got your Universal title that's not even defended on your freaking show hardly ever.
But that's more to do with Brock Lesnar. That doesn't have to do with Roman Reigns.
Sure, but why put the fucking belt on him then?
Who? Brock?
Why? Why put it on Brock? Brock doesn't need a belt. That Goldberg match.
I know, but
Goldberg didn't need a belt. He didn't need to take it from Kevin Owens and ruin Kevin Owens' Mania moment.
Everybody knows this. But what I'm more speaking of is Roman Reigns getting less credit than he deserves.
I don't think he deserves any credit.
Well, that's why we're here to argue about it.
I don't know which of the two of you are angering the fans, but we've lost 3 viewers since this started.
That's okay. Fuck them.
That's fine.
But
this resentment has been this way for years. Anyone that knows me or watched wrestling with me, Roman Reigns sucks.
And and I will say this. You know it means something when he says ruin Kevin Owens' Mania moment because he fucking hates Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I was not a fan. I like him more now. He's warmed up to me. But Brock equals money. Probably wanted to be champ in his contract. Sure. And Brock is money. You get a guy like that. Sure, you sign that dotted line.
And I do want to touch on something.
And
Let's
move on.
Universal belt. I do want to touch on something since we just lost the part in the chat from Rick, asking. Do you see all the chat, Rob?
Yeah, I can scroll back.
What did Rick say exactly?
He said, with Brock leaving, what do you think of Heyman turning on Lesnar?
What do I think about Heyman turning on Lesnar? That's actually something on my list. There have been rumors, not rumors, but
he complimented Roman in the promo.
Yeah. So my thought, I read a couple things people are predicting, or maybe whether or not they're rumors or not, I don't know. But people were thinking, what if Roman Reigns became a Paul Heyman guy? But not being a Paul Heyman guy the same way, as Brock Lesnar was, where Brock Lesnar doesn't speak, he just sits there and looks tough like a bad motherfucker, and Paul Heyman does all the talking. What?
Oh, it came back.
That's weird. I think that if it were to happen where Paul Heyman or Roman Reigns becomes a Paul Heyman guy, I think it will be beneficial for him, for Roman Reigns, because then he could officially be that heel that everybody hates so much.
I mean, that's ultimately what they've needed to do. They need to stop pushing him as a face and just make him a heel.
And
that'll clear some of the the resentment for some people. I don't think it'll fix things. But
No. But it's a move in the right direction, I think.
Sure. Ultimately, has this happened before? Yes. Paul Heyman has screwed over Brock Lesnar in the past. He screwed him over years ago when he became manager for Big Show. Who actually screwed him out of the belt the first run when Brock beat The Rock. Back at SummerSlam, come Survivor Series, the Big Show ended up taking the belt from Brock in Madison Square Garden because Heyman screwed him over. And then ran away with Big Show and managed him for a while until the Big Show eventually dropped it again. So is it out of the idea or mindset that Heyman still has a contract and wants to still work with WWE and manage someone else? I think that'll happen. Ultimately, we all know the end result, though, here. Roman Reigns wins the belt in some form or fashion. How are they going to write the story? I don't know. You're going to see some suplexes in Suplex City. You're going to see 17 fucking Superman punches. And you're going to see Roman Reigns walk out with a belt. And we're going to be like, hey, fuck it. I just watched a predictable ass show that you paid
I mean,
$10 for.
ultimately, you can turn it off before that match. Wake up tomorrow morning or
Yeah, I wouldn't
Monday
waste
morning.
any fucking time because I knew
Yeah.
the result.
Yeah, or just do what I think a lot of people might do. Shooting Star 2.0.
No, at
No,
40
no.
plus years old, do not try that, Brock Lesnar. It didn't work out the first time.
And Rick, I don't agree with you where Heyman needs to manage Rousey. I don't think she should be a Rousey girl or a Heyman girl because, what?
Let's go.
Oh, because I think she needs to develop those mic skills if she plans on being more into it than.
Paul Heyman turns on Brock. Roman goes over. Bobby Lashley shows up, beats them both up. Is Bobby Lashley even that big of a star to have that kind of impact?
He was in TNA, right?
Kinda.
But then again, TNA's pool is very small.
Right. And he's a octagon fighter himself, or an MMA fighter. Like,
I don't know.
If Bobby Lashley shows up, it's to be the tag team partner of Braun. I don't think they throw him into the main event pool against Roman Reigns. Ultimately, Seth Rollins is the one that competes throughout the summer against Roman Reigns, because that's what you segue into. You segue back into the same trio of people again. Again, they need to shuffle things around. There is a draft coming, too, in the coming month or so.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll help. But ultimately, right now, the way it's looking or trending, if you will, you're getting the same fucking shit as before.
But that's what's happened every fucking year in the past, like 8 or 9
Oh, it
years.
happens. Yeah, it goes into these like little segments. You can block things off, and I think that's problematic. As a creative writer, you need to keep things engaging with the viewer, because I'm okay with a fan after being loyal for 25 plus years with missing episodes. You shouldn't ever have your fan base be like, fuck it, I'm just not going to watch Raw this week, and I'm okay with that, because eventually 1 week turns into 2 weeks, which turns into a month, and then you've lost them.
I've never had that feeling yet.
You never not watched for a while.
No. Well, there was, but that was like years ago when I was like playing outside and.
I guarantee there's people, including Rick in here, we've all fucking not watched for a while.
Yeah, but that's you guys.
Or
That's
we
not
jumped
me.
over it. I'm not saying everybody, but I'm saying there are moments that you'll lose fans. I'm not saying everyone turns it off because the show would be done.
Why would it be Reigns versus Styles?
The
versus Champ.
well, no,
No,
the
because
shuffle of the
Nakamura
shows.
is going to win.
Because Rick said that Styles is going to come over to Raw.
Oh, that is right. I remember you saying that. I heard he improved a lot in TNA. Yeah, Bobby Lashley did improve a little bit, but, you know, shining up a turd only to be gold is, you know what I mean?
Dude, like WrestleMania 23, Bobby Lashley was in a match with Donald Trump. Like, what the fuck? Like, fuck. Come on, like that's his shining moment. You're gonna bring him back?
He didn't wrestle with Donald Trump. Though.
Donald Trump was his manager against McMahon. It was the head shave match.
Yeah.
Who the fuck did he beat? WrestleMania 23 in Detroit. Rick knows this one. Bobby Lashley.
Was it Lesnar?
No,
No.
Lesnar was gone. Somebody help me out.
I'm looking.
While he's looking.
It was Umaga.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
rest in peace, Umaga. So yeah, that was the McMahon versus
Umanga.
He was the unstoppable beast at that point.
Yeah.
Did that end his streak?
No, I think Cena ended his streak when he choked him out the ropes at the pay-per-view prior.
Yeah, I think all in all, it was
Yeah, Umaga.
Umaga. Yeah. I think all in all, this Mania is going to be. It may be one of the better ones in years, simply for the undercard matches.
Yeah, I mean, half these matches, sure, I think it will be better. Predictable still. It's still problematic.
But you can still predict a match and it be really good. Like, for
Sure.
example, the Finn Balor, Miz, Seth Rollins match
Sure.
is going to be great.
Sure.
Because Seth Rollins and Finn Balor already put on a fucking amazing match on Raw. Like, one of the best matches all year I've seen.
So let's obviously we've covered everything except for one thing. We talked about it for a minute, but let's truly close with it. Does John Cena get his match? And does The Undertaker come as the American Badass? I say yes.
I want to say yes, too. But part of me is skeptical about Undertaker becoming the American Badass.
I'm certain.
You're gonna put
I'm
that
that
out there?
confident. I'm
You're
that confident.
Okay. See you on Sunday, big boy.
Yeah. Rob says the Master Lock Challenge. Chris Masters, he had a second chance and it didn't perform well either. So as much as I liked him, I thought he was great. Ultimately, that didn't work out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's pretty much covered all our thoughts on this weekend's events of WWE, the Hall of Fame, NXT, and WrestleMania 34.
This episode has been a little bit longer simply because we had a lot to cover. We're not sure how we're going to do these yet, whether or not they're going to be weekly, bi-weekly, or before pay-per-views. We haven't flushed it out yet. We just wanted to see how this episode goes. Please let us know what you guys think about the episode. Comment on YouTube, follow us, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Twitch. Let us know what you think, and then you can email us at 3secondtandna with the number 3secondtandna@gmail.com with any questions, comments, or concerns.
It's not a new gimmick.
And you can also tweet us at 3secondtan or follow us on Instagram at 3secondtan. We will be back next week with the weekly dosage. Don't forget to watch that. And ultimately, we are just really curious what you guys think about this as a wrestling discussion forum. We really like you guys. Yeah, is this something you guys want to see more often, less often? We really like the talk and chat. It was really cool to see what other people think. But yeah, this has been something we've been excited to do for 2 years, getting it out there. I'm glad we could do it live, so we're hoping you guys enjoyed it.
All these will be housed, of course, on our YouTube channel, so make sure to follow Dose of Nerd Acumen and follow us on Twitch as well, but all of these will be housed on demand, so you can go back and see if our predictions were right or wrong and call us out on it, or praise us because we're fucking awesome.
And yeah, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube. It'll be a little easier to find once we get 100 viewers. We'll get that custom URL. So yeah, if you share it, get it out there, man. We're hoping to do more of these 3-second tans. So if those of you who were watching Dizzle, Raven Knight, Rob Reynolds, Rick, Omega, any of you guys who are watching, feel free to let us know what you guys think because you guys have been the most vocal. We like to hear what you think. Appreciate it. Hope you guys
enjoy the weekend, enjoy Mania, and just
keep on riding, you know.
Yeah, stay off the drugs.
We dare you.
Till next time.
All right.
Bye,
Good night, guys.
everybody.